and together is two different things.
It's very difficult, you know.
He is not the father, and I did tell him this.
Gave me a ride and she dropped me off.
Can I get an apology?
No.
As a matter of fact, and he slept in a totally different room.
I'll tell two completely different stories. Yes. Thank goodness for DNA and a lie detector test.
To defend her deceased brother's honor, Miss Chris landed in paternity court to prove that Mr. Ventris was in no way the biological father of Miss Thompson's child. Get ready for a paternity bombshell that'll leave you questioning if this is real life or just another episode of Who's Your Daddy?
Miss Chris, you say that before your brother's tragic death 1 year ago, he told you that he was not the biological father of the defendant's 18-month-old son, Malachi. You have petitioned the court for a paternity test to defend his honor. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Miss Chris wasn't just going to allow anyone to take away the legacy her brother worked for all because of a baby. She claimed Miss Thompson didn't love her brother one bit and was only with him for the money. Is that true? Well, I guess we'll find out now, won't we?
She was doing this for the money, and she said this was another man's baby before. It was my brother's, before she came to my brother.
I never said it was no another person baby.
Yes, she
I never
did.
said who my baby father was.
Yes, she did. She's flip-flopping. You know?
I never flip-flop.
You're flip-flopping because first you said it was another man's baby. That's why you didn't tell my brother.
Oh, heads were about to roll in the courtroom. Miss Chris was insistent on the fact that her brother and Miss Thompson were never in a relationship. What's worse, she said she was flip-flopping with her brother's friends while he wasn't around. That's interesting.
I've been knowing Ventris since.
It's knowing and together is two different things.
I was on and off with Ventris
and his friends too.
Never his friends. Never.
Yeah, let's be for real.
Are you suggesting, Miss Chris, that Miss Thompson was sleeping with your brother's friends as well?
Yeah, a couple of them, yes.
No, I never slept with his friends. I know that.
Miss Thompson finds out she's pregnant. I know what you're thinking. Of course she told Mr. Ventris. She was very open with him about it. She even told him that he was the father of the child. Sure does seem like they loved each other a whole lot. Where are the doubts coming from?
Did you call Mr. Chris?
Yes, I told him that I was pregnant.
Did he question whether or not he was the father?
No.
That's a lie.
Did you tell him he was the father?
Yes. I'm like,
no,
I'm pregnant.
No, that's not true. That's not true, Your Honor.
What do you know?
I know that my brother was denying the baby.
Hold up! The stories are starting to seem really shady. First, Miss Chris claimed the baby didn't belong to her brother, and there was no love between him and Miss Thompson. Now she's saying she took care of the baby like it was her own? Something smells fishy, trust me.
I wanted this to be his baby. You know, the baby looked like him. It did. The baby did look, when the baby was younger, it favored Ventris, you know, and I wanted this would be his first baby. You know, I wanted to be, you know, he don't have any kids. You know, me and him already close. So I'm like, oh, it's a baby. I'm excited, you know, I'm gonna go get it. So I go get it. Me and my mom examine the baby. Like, okay, look, Ma, look at me, look at Ventris. We both look alike.
In Miss Chris's defense, she said she wanted the baby to be her brother's baby. To me, it made no sense because she wasn't acting like she wanted the baby to be hers. It was pretty difficult to tell who was being truthful about the whole thing.
Even my brother was like, I don't know why you keep getting that baby. That's not my baby. You know, he was telling me not. Yeah, he was telling me.
Oh, he said that?
Yes, is that mine?
No, he was saying that.
Yeah.
Oh, so the first time he asked you, hey, she needs a little help.
Right.
Can you help? Well, then you all got yourselves so worked up and wanted the baby to be his.
Now, Miss Thompson dropped a truth bomb in the courtroom that left even the judge short of words. She finally admitted that she had a boyfriend during the window of conception. The question then remains, whose baby is it?
Had got pregnant or got conceived my baby, I was not sleeping with nobody. But I did have a boyfriend.
Okay, thank you.
But that was
Wait a minute.
After the fact. No, this was after the fact I found out I was pregnant.
She got it all twisted
I had a boyfriend after I found out I was pregnant. That's when I got into a relationship.
No, you thought your boyfriend.
Well, the suspense is finally over, and the hassle of who the dad of their child is about to be revealed. It's been a bumpy and funny ride with Miss Chris and Miss Thompson. All eyes on the judge as she unleashes the truth. Get ready, paternity folks!
It has been determined by this court the percentage of relatedness between Ms. Marianne Miller and Malachi Thompson is 0.001%.
You knew
they
it
are
wasn't.
not related.
You knew it wasn't. You knew it wasn't, and you're wrong for that.
Now, what would you do if you found out that your girlfriend was apparently intimate with your father? Yup, You heard that right. That was the sad case for Mr. Belding. I hope you guys are in for another bumpy ride of baby daddy drama because your minds are about to be blown.
Mr. Belding, you're here with your mother. You claim little Jordan's biological father may be your own father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Whoa. So you've also petitioned the court for a lie detector test for Ms. Marsh to determine the extent of her relationship with your dad.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Belding's father will also be joining us to respond to that accusation in just a few moments.
Oh, trust me, this was one hell of a case. I mean, if anyone ever told you of something like this, I very much doubt you would believe them. Miss Marsh and Mr. Belding's dad's story started when she offered to house him in her home.
Excuse me, Your Honor, it was with me and my mom, as a matter of fact, and he slept in a totally different room. It was a 3-bedroom house. We never
was the
slept in
first
same
house.
room.
Yeah.
And
There's
we've
been
always had
several.
more than 3 rooms.
Okay, but I have to ask, Ms. Marsh, out of all the places you could live,
He had nowhere to go. Literally, I asked his sister, and his sister said, no, I'm not gonna let
So,
a
Mr.
man I
Belding-
call my dad stay on the streets.
It was a very confusing story that Miss Marsh was selling to the courtroom. First, she claimed Mr. Belding was the father of her child and not his dad. The mind-blowing part, she never allowed him to see the baby.
She thinks Zach's the dad, but he can't do nothing with her. He's not allowed.
And yes, she did let me in one time to see Jordan.
3
But any
times.
other times, she slammed the door in my face.
Except for the night you spent the night and you had sex with her, which was just 2 months ago,
Yeah.
Your
We
Honor.
didn't have sex. Your
So
friend
for
was
them
in
to
the
be
same
together
bed,
for
Your
a
Honor.
year, she must be sleeping around, is all I've got to say.
No. He
all
came
right.
over with his friend.
Why
He was
do
drunk.
you doubt?
In no time, it went from a courtroom to a war room, with both parties calling themselves lairs. Miss Marsh had no idea what was going on between his girlfriend at the time and his dad. It all happened like a birthday surprise.
Her dad, his
my
dad
dad
did
had
that.
called her
Zachary didn't want nothing to do with her. His dad sent
It's
for her
funny
down
because
there.
I still have messages on my mom's phone from him saying, baby, I can't wait till you get here.
You got those?
So now,
evidence?
Mr. Belding, that's another reason why you think your father
He had her come
was
down there.
possibly sleeping with her too, because he's the one that decided to have her come down.
Yes.
Amidst the tug of war that was going on between Mr. Belding's mom and Miss Marsh, he dropped a truth bomb that would leave your mind in shock. Apparently, he had a conversation with his dad, and the dad told him they slept together on the same bed multiple times. Damn!
Yeah, he's told me they've slept in the bed together multiple times.
Hold on. So, Miss Marsh,
Multiple times.
you said it was different rooms in your testimony earlier.
Yes. In my 3-bedroom apartment, it was different rooms. And then when we lived at my mom's, I worked 3rd shift and he worked 1st. We slept in the same bed, but not together.
See, now see
Not
who's
together.
lying? See how the story
So wait a
changes?
minute. So wait. Your story.
Our story isn't changing like hers.
Well, the dad finally had his time to speak and shed some light on what was really going on. As you would expect, he said he didn't lay a single finger on Miss Marsh. But did they sleep on the same bed? Oh, yes, they did for sure.
It's a little frustrating. I feel kind of demeaned by it, and I have never, ever laid a finger on Amber Marsh.
Thank you. And I would never lay a finger on him. That is my dad. That is gross. Granted, he's a very handsome man for being 47
Well,
years old.
sir, your son.
Miss Marsh had someone to back her up. Her new boyfriend stepped into the stand like her blazing Prince Charming. Miss Marsh and the new boyfriend had been taking care of the baby all this time. Was Mr. Belding involved in any of that? Hell no!
It's just an everyday thing. I mean, you gotta be a dad to do everything, you know what I mean? You gotta get a job, take care of the baby, play with her. I play every day with her.
Good job.
Shoot guns together, take her to the park.
You won't be around long neither. She goes through men like you go through toilet paper, honey.
Yep. You can
Ask Matt Belding.
He's
He
lived-
can testify
he's
that
lived with
she's
her.
a hoe.
Well, there's no going back now. The situation is just very messed up, but the truth is about to be unleashed. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Will they be able to save their relationship, or is this goodbye? The answers lie in front of the judge.
Mr. Belding Sr., you are not Jordan's father.
Thank you.
Already knew that.
Mr. Belding Jr., you are her father.
Thank you.
That's my baby.
That's our baby.
That's my baby. Not yours.
Think so?
Mine.
You think
Stay
so?
right here.
Mine.
Stay right
Think
here.
so?
They've been married for a whole 11 years, but their marriage was about to go down the drain. If the results come out as Mr. Thompson not being the father of their 4-month-old baby, well, you already know what's gonna happen next. Buckle up and let's get right into it.
Mr. Thompson, you are in court today in hopes of saving your 11-year marriage. Your wife has a newborn 4-month-old, Micah Pate Thompson, who you hope is your baby, but say your doubts are overwhelming. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mrs. Pate Thompson, you hope and pray the results reveal that your husband is Micah's father for the sake of your family.
Miss Pate Thompson was devastated by the whole situation. She really didn't want her marriage. She was willing to do everything in her power to save her marriage. But Mr. Thompson wasn't sharing the same perspective.
It's very difficult. You know, I want Micah to be his son. I don't want to lose my best friend. We've been together for so long. And, you know, I just don't want to lose him.
All right. Well, take me back. I want to understand how this relationship began. Certainly, at some point, you all were happy together.
The beautiful thing about these two was that they were so full of love. Well, at least when their relationship started. You could even say they were college sweethearts. But all that was about to take a different turn.
We got married. I got married in a jogging suit. My maid of honor had on a matching jogging suit.
I had
He had a t-shirt,
I had t-shirts, jeans, and Timberlands on, and I was drunk. You know what I'm saying? It was, yeah, I was kind of toasted.
It sounds like it was an interesting and entertaining day.
After having their little cute ghetto marriage, the walls stated to close in on Miss Pate Thompson. She wasn't ready to be committed. She felt trapped in the marriage. And Mr. Thompson, on the other hand, started to grow his doubts.
Your Honor, I think when we first got married, we really weren't ready to be married.
You didn't understand the depth of the commitment and the responsibility of marriage.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is why I felt went wrong in the marriage. Me and LaToya had ample opportunities where I came to LaToya and I was like, listen here, you're not doing certain things in the marriage that should be going on.
Eventually, the marriage broke up. Well, not like a divorce kind of breakup. Mr. Thompson left Miss Pate Thompson and got intimate with someone else. Well, I'm sure you weren't expecting that to happen.
Were you living with somebody else, Mr. Thompson?
Yeah, I was.
So why shouldn't she move on?
She didn't want to move on. She said she was gonna work on what she needs to work on.
Were you all planning to get a divorce?
Nah.
Yes.
So you just gonna go move in with somebody else and still think you're gonna be married?
When I said something about a divorce, she didn't want a divorce.
As soon as he left and I found out that he was staying.
All this while, Mr. Thompson knew his wife was cheating on him, but he had no proof. He turned into a man on a mission. He decided to get the proof he needed to justify his doubt. My God, did he find out the most shocking thing?
She went back to Atlanta 2 weeks later.
For a follow-up interview?
Yeah, she said a second interview. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to leave nothing out because I don't want anybody to say.
I know that's right. You go ahead and prove your case, Mr. Thompson. Go ahead.
You go back to Atlanta the second time. So I was like, okay, once again, I know what you're going to do. So I was like, let me go ahead and let you go so I can compile me a little bit of evidence.
It was time for Mr. Thompson's secret to finally pop out. What you're about to hear will make your mind jump out of your body. While still being married to Miss Pate Thompson, he got engaged to another girl. Oh, that's all shades of wrong, trust me.
He failed to mention while he was doing all that research trying to figure out who I was talking to, he failed to tell anybody that he was engaged to this girl.
What?
While he was still married. And
what?
It's on her Facebook, so he can't even lie about it.
You asked another girl to marry you while you're still married to your wife?
I did.
Everything went from a peaceful relationship to a bloodbath, with the couples throwing tantrums about who got intimate with whom. Well, the moment of truth is finally here. Every single eye is placed on the judge as she's about to reveal the final verdict. Hold your breath.
Mr. Thompson, you are not the father. How are you feeling in this moment?
Accept the situation when I knew he wasn't.
Mr. Woods felt like the luckiest man on the planet. Well, he was the luckiest man on the planet. He always wanted to be a father, and his girlfriend made that dream come true. His dreams came crashing down when Miss James told him he wasn't the father.
Mr. Woods, you say your dream of becoming a father came true when the defendant gave birth to your 1-year-old daughter, Addison. But that dream became a nightmare when months after you became a daddy and signed the birth certificate, the defendant dropped a bomb and said you are not her father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss James dove right into it. Oh, trust me, it was a shocker to everyone in the courtroom when she said Mr. Woods wasn't the father. They were all in disbelief that she admitted it. She claimed she told Mr. Woods, but he refused to believe her. I wouldn't blame him, honestly.
To tell them that he is not the father, and I did tell him this before.
So it even hurts you because you know the bond they have established. You know how much Mr. Woods loves Addison.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you can see she loves him.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you're saying you have to come here to tell the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Some eggs are about to break. Their relationship started with Mr. Woods being the shoulder to cry on for Miss James. She cheated on her boyfriend with Mr. Woods. A couple of months after that, she called Mr. James to tell him she was carrying his baby. Wow.
Her boyfriend at the time, so we didn't talk about it. And then 2 months later, I was at work, and that's when she called me and said that she was pregnant, and I was the father.
Wow. So Miss James?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you use protection?
No.
So when you found out you were pregnant, you immediately called Mr. Woods?
Yes, but I told him that he was not the father, that it could be somebody else.
When she initially told her boyfriend that she was pregnant, he denied the baby and told her he wanted nothing to do with the child. Having no other option, she told Mr. Woods that he was the father of the child at the time.
He did not want anything to do when I told him that I was pregnant, and it possibly could be his daughter.
The other guy?
Yes, Your Honor.
He didn't want anything to do with the baby?
No, yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Woods, you said you were excited. Once
Yes,
you
Your Honor.
found out you were having a baby, you started going to the doctor's appointments. What else did you do?
I was excited. I started building a nursery, and I spent many nights with her when she was sick, throwing up.
Mr. Woods was one sweet dad. He was there for everything. Through the birth, through taking care of the baby, he basically showed up every step of the way. He even signed the birth certificate. The question then remains, where did the doubt come from?
And I was rocking her to sleep and stuff because I did not want to leave her side or Aubrey's because she's in pain, so I stayed there the whole time. I called off
And
work
did you
just to
sign
stay
the
there.
birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
You did. So, Ms. James, if you had these doubts, why did you allow Mr. Woods to sign the birth certificate?
Because he proposed to me, and he knew that it was right to propose to someone if he wanted to take responsibility of the child.
Miss James kept it a secret from him until 2 months after the baby was born that the child could possibly not be his own. Now that's just wicked if you ask me. She definitely broke his heart with that statement.
Not until 2 months after Addison was born.
Yes, Your Honor.
What happened?
We was living together at the time. We was still engaged, and we got to a big fight. And I walked outside, and she came out with me, and that's when she said that Addison may not be mine. That could be her ex.
Why did you say that to him in that moment, Ms. James?
Because out of spite to get to him, and also because I've told him before that he wasn't the father.
It was a really sad day for Mr. Woods in the courtroom. When Mr. James' brother walked up to the stand, he couldn't deny how much Mr. Woods cared for the child. He even said he was the best father figure the child could ever need. That has to be the sweetest thing ever.
Addison, and he is a great father to her. And, I just really wanted to, make it a point to him and Mr. Woods here that, the child support can be devastating because I, am in a position of that myself. And, I would like to see my niece have, a responsible, good father.
Well, the suspense is finally over, and the hassle of who the dad of their child is about to be revealed. It's been a bumpy and funny ride with Mr. Woods and Miss James. All eyes on the judge as she unleashes the truth. Get ready, paternity folks.
Mr. Woods, you are not the father. Mr. Woods, thank you for coming back in. I'm very sorry.
I'm still gonna be there.
Miss Autry was one hell of a mother. She didn't want her son to get married to Miss Martin because she didn't like her at all. She even said Miss Martin didn't belong to her son. These two were here to brawl. Let's join them in their mother and baby mother saga.
Ms. Autry, you say the defendant is taking advantage of your son by pinning a baby on him, and you have physical proof that her 2-year-old daughter, Skyla, is not your grandchild. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Martin, you claim that the plaintiff is a monster-in-law and is denying your daughter only because she doesn't like you. You need help and hope to get some once the results are revealed. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, Miss Autry didn't hide her disgust and hate for Miss Martin. In no time, she was already calling her names and saying she wanted to steal her son. Even the judge had to call her to order because she was ready to fight.
So you do, Miss Tramp.
Your Honor,
Miss
this is what I'm
Autry, come on,
saying.
let's be respectful.
I
Let's be
don't like
respectful.
her.
Why you want to
And look,
disrespect
you
the
don't
mother
have
of
to
your
like her,
your
but you can
grandchild?
use respectful
I
language.
was not the mother of my grandchild.
Okay, Your
Where
Honor.
I'm from, they call me Queen DNA. So until I get a DNA test to prove that's my grandbaby, I am not accepting the responsibility for no baby that's not none of mine.
Even her son didn't want her meddling in his business. He was getting married to Miss Martin, but didn't inform his mother. How don't you tell your mom you're getting married? She definitely had to be a pain in your ass, if you ask me.
Your son didn't tell you?
No.
No, he didn't tell me. He didn't want me to know because he know I would have stopped
it. Okay, and you got that call, you were in the bed, then you did what?
I got up, I got dressed, and I started walking up the street, and a friend seen me walking, and she said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "To stop this wedding." So she gave me a ride, and she dropped me off. So I'm up there trying to stop the wedding, and they take her to another location where they can get married.
The mom pulls up to the wedding and wrecks the wedding. They eventually get married at a totally different location. In Miss Autry's defense, she claimed that Miss Martin was very disrespectful, and she didn't want that kind of person marrying her son.
It ain't so much as I never cared for Miss Martin. It's just that she has been very disrespectful from day one.
She's the same way. I mean, what do you want me to do? You disrespect me all the time.
Well, you came into my home and disrespected me.
But you disrespected me first, Miss
Oh, no.
You kept
You did
disrespecting
it.
me. You kept
You came to
disrespecting
my
me.
house.
You never
told me
showed
you was
me
pregnant.
any
I told you you was
respect.
lying.
Miss Autry's craziness didn't just end with trying to crash her son's wedding. Trust me, she took it to the next level. When Miss Martin was in the hospital to give birth, she went to the hospital to create an unforgettable scene. Trust me, you will be speechless when you hear what she did.
So you didn't stop acting up?
No.
What was
She crazy, Your Honor.
What was she doing?
She was acting crazy. She was out in the hospital saying, "That ain't none of my son's baby. That ain't none of my son's baby. You lying. You lying."
So, Miss Autry, you said that's not my grandchild instantly.
Yes. She don't have the toes like my son.
Yes,
His
she
toes
does.
cross.
Yes, she
His big
does.
toe is here, and his this toe next
They
to big toe,
overlap.
it crawls over like that.
Now you could tell that Miss Autry was born with a lot of trouble. She started to list her doubts and reasons why the baby couldn't be for her son. These reasons would make you ask if she skipped some of her medication, I promise.
It's like Miss Autry as well. They have little feet.
My toes don't. You want to see my toes?
Your
Johnny?
feet
My
are
toes
little,
don't
Miss
have
Autry. My daughter has feet like her family. Miss Autry has small feet, and so does my baby.
So the baby doesn't have crossed toes. And what else is your doubt? It doesn't have eyebrows.
Don't have the eyebrows. And my son have girly eyelashes, and she don't have those.
They haven't grew yet. She's only 2. Let her develop in her own way. I mean,
The funny thing was that the son had no issues at all. He accepted the baby and wanted to have a beautiful family with Miss Martin. But the mother? She was willing to turn the earth inside out to determine if the baby really belonged to her son.
she hasn't even tried to bond with the baby, so of course you're gonna think she's not yours.
Why would
You
I
haven't
bond
tried
with
to
the baby
bond
unless
with
I
her.
know for
You
a
haven't
fact
tried
it's
to
my
get to
son?
know her.
Had I had them, I did my own DNA test to make
she's
sure.
2 years old.
But she's not my son. Look at her eyebrows.
Have you ever asked her, will you watch Skylar? Will you take care of Skylar?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, it's time we brought the cartoons down on Miss Autry's crazy ass, wouldn't you say? It was time to find out the truth and know if the craziness was all worth it. The moment of truth is here, people. Brace yourselves for the results.
The biological father is Mr. Martin.
I'll take that for 200, Your Honor. I told you. Can I get an apology?
No.